Assalamualaikum. How are you, students? I hope you are fine. Okay, let's start our next lesson, unit number 8, page number 45, The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once upon a time, there was a poor shoemaker who had no money left to buy food for himself and his wife. When he looked around his shop, he found that all he had was just enough leather to make one pair of shoes. As he carefully cut out the shoes, he wondered sadly if anyone would ever come along to buy them. Then he laid out the leather on his workbench, ready to sew. The next day, he went upstairs to bed. In the morning, when he went to his workbench, the shoemaker couldn't believe in his eyes. Instead of the leather he had cut out the night before, he saw a pair of fine shoes already made. The shoemaker looked carefully at the shoes, and the stitches were small and even, and the shoes had been polished until they shone. He was very puzzled, showed them to his wife, and said, "Who could have made the shoes so perfectly?" Later that day, a rich woman came into the shop to buy some shoes. When the shoemaker showed her the pair he had found on his workbench, the woman smiled. "These are very fine shoes," she said as she tried them on. "They fit perfectly. I will give you 5 pieces of silver for them." Now the shoemaker could buy some food, and he could also buy enough leather for 2 pairs of shoes. As before, he cut out the leather and went to bed. Once again, the same thing happened. When the shoemaker went to his workbench next day, there were 2 pairs of fine shoes waiting for him. They were polished so that they glowed in the sunlight, and the stitches were small and even. That afternoon, a rich merchant came into his shop. He liked the shoes so much that he bought both pairs, and he paid the shoemaker well for them. That day, shoemaker was able to buy enough leather for pairs of shoes. Just as before, he cut out the leather and left it on his workbench overnight. And in the morning, he found 4 fine pairs of shoes there instead. The same things happened night after night, and day after day. Rich people came to buy the shoes. Soon the shoemaker and his wife were rich too. They usually ate their lunch or dinner in grand restaurants. One evening, not long before Christmas, the shoemaker said to his wife, "Someone has been helping us all this time, sewing the shoes so beautifully, and we still don't know who it is. How can we find out?" "Well," said his wife, why don't we stay up tonight and watch?" So after dinner, they lit a candle and went into the shop. They hid behind the counter and waited to see what would happen.